Kōloa was one of the earliest sugar plantations in Hawaii. Sugar is no longer produced in this area, but the town is still thriving, of course, but they are targeting tourists more than anything else. And in this park there is a stone structure. I believe they could have had a chimney going higher up from this one. It's just a wild, crazy guess, because you could have made fire inside this one. There could have been an opening right here on the wall. There is another opening on this side, and this definitely looks like an oven. Maybe they brought sugarcane to this place and basically cooked it. That's my crazy theory. I could be 100% wrong, but maybe you guys know what they use this structure for. Anyway, they built a nice monument in this park. They say this is the location of the old sugar mill. Let's take a look. It's a statue of the former workers. People came from other countries. We had Chinese, a lot of Japanese people from the Philippines, people with Portuguese heritage, and so on. And now they're using this park for food trucks. It's not open yet, but it will be. You don't need to worry when you go to Kōloa. They have gasoline. And if you make a left and go down this little road, you will eventually end up in Poipu, where most of the tourists stay. Anyway, let's walk a quarter of a mile through this town and check it out. And it looks like most of these buildings were built almost at the same time. Because if you invest in a big sugar mill, you need people to work on your plantation, and that also means you need to provide, things like food, clothing, and many other necessary things. And the color scheme is red mostly. We have a few green buildings in the back, but most of the stuff facing the road is red. And we have a U-turn right in front of us. All right, people do crazy stuff in Hawaii. And we're going to pass a stream, and this bridge was built in the early 1900s. So it's not very wide. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, you need to keep an eye on traffic because it's dangerous. I don't know. You know, I continue to walk on this side. After heavy rain, I think there will be a lot of water going under this bridge. It's also quite noisy walking in the street because cars are coming every few seconds. It's hard to turn the camera a sunny day like this, because you would have the sun right in the front lens of my camera. But I will try to change angles and location if I can. This one looks interesting, the Kōloa pizza kitchen plus bar. Because it's a popular town, sometimes it can be hard to find parking. Your best bet would be in the back of the businesses. Find a side street and you might be able to find parking, and then you can just walk up to the main area. It's not going to be a long walk, trust me. A few hundred yards at most. If you're into ziplining and ATVs, they might sell tickets in this building. But I think it's more fun to eat, so there you have it. And there are so many shacks to choose from. This one looks good. Eden Coffee. I might try that. Some of the buildings are brand new, I would say. I mean, compared to the original structures you find further down. And I noticed they don't attract too many tourists. Everybody wants to see the old stuff, the old dirty, shitty stuff. That attracts. The new ones, they are too clean. It's boring. I know they have a sports bar in the red building just behind this white one, and it's kind of empty. And yes, there is a post office in Kōloa, and a school, and this old building is used today to roast coffee. That's interesting. The Dark Horse. The reason I'm walking up to the end of this street is right in front of us. This is interesting. The Kōloa Jodo mission. It's a Buddhist temple, and they say they built a temple for the Japanese immigrants as a place for worship. They could study language, their own language, and learn martial arts, and just be social in general. The gate is open, and I can't resist to walk in and look at these beautiful buildings. But let me start in the other corner because of the light. Look at the architecture. It's mostly, if not entirely, well, not entirely because the bottom is stone, but it's mostly wood, I would say. They took care of their own people when they came to this island. Look at this thing. I think water came out from this one at some point. In case you were thirsty after working a day in the field. It's a nice bell. I mean, the whole garden is well kept. They know design, that's for sure. I would take a sneak peek behind the building. Just really quick. All right, we have seen this beautiful mission. Many of these towns in Hawaii, they look all the same. It's just different islands, different locations, different years when they built them. But the main thing is they are pretty sweet. They are beautiful. And I hope termites will not finish up all the wood, because it is a problem. I mean, how long will wood really last? That's the problem. And after that, I don't know what would be remaining for future generations. I know that was deep talking, but let's move on to another place. I'm looking over the fence, and believe it or not, this coffee shop used to be a mission. I suspected that, but I wasn't sure when I walked up, because they didn't really sell coffee in the early 1900s. Not like that, at least. Just east of town, we can still see the old sugar mill. It's a massive place though, but today it's all rusty. There are trees in between the buildings, and in a few years this will all be gone. That is a fact. And the question is, why do we have so many cars? Well, they are all going to do zip lining. They go in and they park in the parking lot. I believe this is an overflow place. And I am the only guy not going to do zip lining today. I just wanted to take a look at this beautiful sugar mill. We can go closer, so let's do it. This plantation truck is not going anywhere, but I am sure it served well when it was working. It's just totally dead. I wonder if it's possible to even restore something like this. Anyway, there is another big truck on display behind this gate. You might be able to see it. It's extremely rusty. It looks like the original color was yellow-ish, maybe. But again, the soil is rusty, so whatever color you have on a car, and if you worked it a few years on a plantation, it would just be rusty. That's the color. Like this plant itself, or sugar mill. Half is rust and half is soil, or the color of the soil. It's pretty big. It really is. Unfortunately, we cannot go in. It's on private land, of course. We have to respect that. But I will do one last stop. Look at the chimney. They had one, maybe two. There is another one to the left, lower down. It's amazing. Let's say you want to set up a sugar mill today. Who is going to design it? It would be interesting to know. Because if you are sitting with tens of thousands of acres, what are you going to do? Well, you can do pineapple, of course, if the soil is right, coffee, or sugar cane. All right, let's go and find something else. We are looking at the oldest Catholic church in Kauaʻi. According to the sign, it was built in, or founded in 1841. Maybe the building itself was built later. Sometimes you don't know. And I would say the Kōloa town is up in this direction. And if I turn around completely, we can't see it, of course. But if we could, we would see the old sugar mill. There is a secret door on the side. I'm not sure what they used it for. This is not a museum though. I mean, this is a live, fully functioning church. It's just old. Oh, the cemetery is behind this wall. Let's take a quick look from the corner. It's a pretty place though. It really is. And the property is big. But in the 1800s, they had a lot of empty land. And the church had money, so why not? It's a modern church because they have a gift shop. You can come and pray and buy gifts at the same time. All right. That's the modern world. And there is a white structure in the back. Maybe it is a chapel. I can't tell from where I'm walking. And these buildings are totally brand new, right? This is interesting. It's a copy of the church. It's tiny. I'm guessing maybe 8 feet tall. And why they built that one, I don't know. I thought it was a chapel, but it's a model. Okay. Now we know they have a copy of the main building. It reminds me about a church wall they have in Macau, by the way. It's just one wall. They had a big fire in that church, and one wall is kept like this. And this looks like the front wall of the cathedral or church in Macau. It's interesting. This is probably built early 1900s, maybe late 1800s. Look at the moss, and you can tell it's old. All right. Let's move on to the next one, because they have another church in town too. This is the other famous church in town, the old Kōloa church. It was established in 1835, and if that means they built it that year, I couldn't tell. Let's see if I can cross the street. You need to be quick. Cars are coming. All right. It's surrounded by a nice Hawaiian wall. And today they call it a dynamic Christian fellowship. I don't know what that means. Except we have a beautiful church in front of us. It looks like it's built of wood. And the other Catholic church was definitely built of stone. The old Kōloa church. It's a colonial front with the 4 pillars. could have been deep down in the south, but it's in Kōloa, Kauaʻi. And the wind is picking up. Wow, what's happening? I can't escape it. What do I do? Well, I guess it's time for me to go back up to town. I need to visit the store and pick up a bottle of something. I'm thirsty. I have been walking around for a few hours as usual, and my reward is coming. We say goodbye to the old Kōloa church. And town is up to the left.